If you're starting 75 Hard Challenge in the new year as part of your health and fitness journey, listen up because I'm going to share with you the things that I would do if I had to start 75 Hard Challenge all over again. Now, I successfully completed the challenge in 2023. I started the challenge in May 2023 and lost 30 pounds over the course of 75 days. I went on to complete more days of the 75 Hard Challenge for a total of 116 days, and I lost a total of 34 pounds. And so here are some of the things that I would do if I had to start the challenge over again in 2025. 75 Hard Challenge is a mental toughness challenge. It is designed to instill discipline. It is designed to be hard and inconvenient and to force you to make sacrifices to complete a set of tasks every single day for 75 days. Those tasks are working out twice a day for 45 minutes each. They have to be at least 3 hours apart, and one of those workouts has to be outdoors. You have to follow a diet with no alcohol and no cheat meal. You have to drink 1 gallon of water per day. You have to take a progress photo every day, and you have to read 10 pages of a nonfiction book per day. So those are the tasks that you have to complete on the challenge. And the premise is that if you complete all of those tasks every single day for 75 days, you will undergo a mental transformation. By the end of that challenge, you will feel like you can do anything, and it doesn't matter what that anything is. You will be able to overcome challenges to complete a goal. So the first thing that I would do if I was starting 75 Hard over again is that I would mentally commit to completing the challenge. This is the one thing that actually sustained me throughout the course of the challenge when the challenge got really hard, when those tasks got really inconvenient and I was making some really tough sacrifices in order to complete the task. I had just mentally resigned myself that no matter what, I am going to complete this challenge. It was a sense of accomplishment for me to be able to complete it and say that I completed 75 Hard Challenge. And that was the thing that kept me going when those moments, when those sacrifices got tough. So if I had to start 75 Hard all over again this year, I would mentally commit to completing the challenge. The next thing that I would do if I were starting 75 Hard Challenge in the new year is I would read the book. There is an actual book for the challenge written by the challenge creator. It's called 75 Hard, and it really talks about the mechanics of each individual task and why the tasks are set up the way that they're set up. And so you may not understand it, especially for instance, the workout, the one where you have to do 2 workouts per day, 45 minutes each. They have to be 3 hours apart, and one has to be outdoors. That's a lot. But when you read the book, you find out why it is structured the way that it's structured. And so reading the book for me really helped me to focus in on the true meaning of the challenge. It's not a weight loss challenge. It's not a physical transformation. It is truly a mental transformation challenge. You have to make a lot of sacrifices. And so a lot of them are mental sometimes, but you have to make a lot of sacrifices in order to complete the task every single day for 75 days straight. So reading the book was very helpful for me, and it really made me recommit to completing the challenge. Next thing I would do if I had to start 75 Hard again in the new year is to download the tracking app. There is an actual 75 Hard app in the App Store, and it is a tracking app. It tracks your task every single day. So you start on day 1 and it's like a checklist. As you complete those tasks, you check them off. If you get to the end of the day and you haven't completed all of those tasks, it will ask you, did you complete all of the tasks for the day? If you are truthful and you say no, it backs you up to day 1. If you have completed all of those tasks, it advances you to the next day. Now it is just simple as that. I'm a person that likes checklists. I like to check things off. I have a sense of accomplishment. So this app where I could check off my task every day really kept me on track. It is $4.99, maybe $5.99 in the App Store, one-time purchase, but well worth it on my path to successfully completing the challenge. The next thing I would do if I was starting 75 hard again in the new year is I would track my food intake. Now the challenge requires you to follow a diet with no alcohol and no cheat meals. So you have to be able to sustain whatever diet it is that you actually pick. I decided that I wasn't going to box myself into a specific type of eating, but that I was going to count macros and I was going to go with the moderate to high protein diet. And so that is what I tracked. I used a food tracker and I just put in everything that I ate and made sure that I hit my protein macro goals for the day. I wasn't eating any type of processed sugar, and I was able to sustain that method of eating throughout the course of the challenge. But I just kept it really simple by not boxing myself into a specific type of diet or a specific type of eating or eliminating whole food groups. I was really able to be very flexible about the way I ate, because I selected that style of eating, and then I was also tracking my food. That really kept me on track with the diet requirement for completing the challenge. The next thing I would do if I were starting 75 hard in the new year is I would decide on my workouts in advance, and I would keep them very simple. Now, I walked for most of my workouts simply because it's simple. All you need are a good pair of walking shoes, and you can do both the indoor and the outdoor workout just simply walking. And so I would take a look at my calendar over the next 75 days and figure out what I have going on. Do I have special work events? Am I traveling for work? And do I have vacation? What are those things that are going on that may prevent you from getting in both workouts every day? Because you have to do 2 of them, and they have to be 3 hours apart. You can't combine them. And one of them has to be outdoors. That takes a lot of planning. So you really just want to keep it simple. And, I just decided that I was just going to do a lot of walking because, again, I could either walk inside on a treadmill or I could walk outdoors. I found myself sometimes, especially when I was on travel, I found myself walking in some really odd places. I ended up having to walk around the airport terminal for 45 minutes one day because I had to get in that workout. We went on vacation and I was walking around the hotel parking lot. I was walking around an amusement park, and not just simply strolling, how you stroll around the amusement park. My son and my husband went to stand in line to ride a ride, and I was deliberately making loops around the amusement park for my 45-minute outdoor workout. So again, it's very easy, it's very convenient because, again, you just put on, all you need is a good pair of walking shoes. So I would just simply say, take a look at your calendar for the next 75 days and figure out exactly what are some of those challenges that you'll have to completing your task. And then from there, just decide what workouts you're going to do so that you are more likely to be successful in getting both of those workouts in every day. The next thing I would do if I was starting 75 hard again in the new year is I would buy a refillable water bottle. I didn't do this at first. I was just simply drinking, out of plastic water bottles, and, I would have to drink like 8 of them and some of a little bit more to get in my gallon of water per day. And it was overwhelming because it was so many bottles. Towards the end of the challenge, I realized, okay, you can buy a 64-ounce water bottle and you only have to refill it once. And so I did that, and it was so much better in terms of the water. This is the one that I purchased, and I'll leave a link to it in the video description, but this is the one that I purchased, and it is 64 ounces and you just have to fill it twice. I got to the point where I was taking that water bottle and I was filling it, and I would put it on my nightstand at night. And, I'm drinking a gallon of water a day. So I'm getting up in the middle of the night going to the bathroom. Well, once I came back from the bathroom, I was drinking water because as long as it was after midnight, it was counting towards that next day's water goal. And so I would be able to fill my water bottle, and then, you know, after I used the bathroom, I would then start drinking more water, and I was getting a head start on my water for the day. So I would just highly encourage you, if, you know, if I had to start the challenge again in the new year, that's exactly what I would do. Is I would start out with a refillable water bottle on day one. Once I figured out that trick, it made my life so much easier in terms of intaking the water that I needed to intake in order to successfully complete that task for the challenge every day. The last thing I'll say that I would do if I were starting 75 hard again in the new year is I would start immediately. I wouldn't wait for anything special. I wouldn't wait for the first of the year. I wouldn't wait for the first Monday. I wouldn't wait for, you know, after anniversary or birthday or trip or anything like that. I would start immediately. When I was successful on the challenge, it was because I started immediately. I went to see my doctor on a Wednesday, and she weighed me, and we were talking about, you know, weight loss and things like that. I started 75 hard the very next day. And I didn't start it as a weight loss challenge. I actually started it because I realized I was undisciplined in my eating, which is what she was fussing with me about. But I was undisciplined in my eating, so I started the challenge as a way to build discipline and to get my eating under control. But I would just start immediately. I did not wait for that Monday to come or trying to get prepared or anything like that. I started the very next day, and I found that that was one of the keys to my success in completing the challenge, is that I just got started. And when I got started, I didn't stop. Go all the way back to the first tip. I committed to the challenge. Once I started, I committed to finishing the challenge. And those were the things that made me successful and helped me to successfully complete 75 Hard Challenge. Now, if this video has been helpful for you, take a moment and give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions about 75 Hard Challenge, how to complete some of the tasks, please take a moment and drop those in the comments. I would love to be able to help you out. I'll tell you some tips and tricks, some things that I figured out on as I completed the challenge that actually worked, some time management skills in order to get tasks completed as early in the day as possible. But leave those things in the comments. I would love to continue the conversation there. If you haven't subscribed yet, take a moment, hit the subscribe button. I'd love to have you here in the community. Take care. Good luck to you on your 75 hard journey. I'll see you in the next video.